Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to talk about the Jets surprisingly cutting Jachai Polite. But before we get started, I just want to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump right into it and talk about the biggest discussion in New York Jets land today. The Jets surprisingly cutting Jachai Polite. Now, there were some cuts that I wasn't all too surprised about. Eli McGuire got cut. He was clearly the fifth best running back on this roster. He is not better than Trenton Cannon. He is not better than Bilal Powell. And obviously, he's not better than Montgomery or Le'Veon Bell. So him not making this roster really isn't that surprising. Neither was Eric Tomlinson getting cut. He, again, low on the depth chart. Surprisingly got a ton of reps last year. Thank you, Jeremy Bates. But he was another one who got cut that I wasn't too shocked about. This one was a risky draft pick, but I was surprised when Jachai Polite was cut today. The Jets took a flyer on Polite in the third round of the NFL draft this past year. Now, again, obviously, Joe Douglas has taken over for Mike Maccagnan since then, but the overall idea here was that Jachai Polite was someone who was supposed to be a first-round talent, had a bad combine, and then on top of that, also had a bad pre-draft process. Due to those reasons, he was available when the Jets were picking in the third round. Granted, now you fast forward to the preseason, and he really didn't do all that much. In 4 preseason games, he played 107 snaps. He had 4 tackles, 3 quarterback hurries, 0 quarterback hits, and 0 sacks. So really nothing to write home about for the third round pick of this year's draft class. But at the end of the day, the Jets decided to cut bait with him. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with giving up on him this early. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he 100% deserved to be a starter on this team or that he blew everyone out of the water. He didn't. He had a very bad preseason and a very bad camp. But he was someone who was always looked at as a project. To me, this comes across as Joe Douglas just saying, okay, I don't want any part of the old GM's quote-unquote projects. I want to do this all my way. And maybe he wouldn't have taken Polite, but I just think that you're giving up on this kid way too early in his career. He's only 21 years old. I know that Winovich was available at that point, and everyone's saying, oh, well, he had a phenomenal preseason. Well, he's also 3 years older than Jachai Polite. So Polite obviously is more of a project, but I think his ceiling is a little bit higher. Does he ever reach that ceiling? I don't quite know. But as of today, I do think that he could be an NFL pass rusher, which the Jets don't really have one, even still. I'm not saying that he would have made any impact in 2019, but you're telling me in 2020 you know for sure he won't have an impact. I'm not so positive of that. Granted, I do have a lot more trust in Joe Douglas than I do in Mike Maccagnan, but I like the flyer on this pick. I still will defend that pick to this day. I thought it was fine. The Jets really haven't addressed edge rusher, offensive line, or cornerback in the first round or the first few rounds in a long time. So I'm hoping down the road here, Joe Douglas starts to put his resources into, like I said, those 3 positions, cornerback, offensive line, and edge rusher. But for now, he's cleaning up the mess that was Mike Maccagnan's draft. So are you surprised that another mid-round Mike Maccagnan draft pick is gone? I guess not really. At the end of the day here, I would have bet on Polite making this roster. Again, maybe he doesn't have an impact in 2019, but I'm not ready to sit here and say that I don't think he's an NFL player in 2020. But at the end of the day, I'm not too beaten up over it, but it's still a weird, surprising move today, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Let me know what you think. Were you surprised when you heard that Jachai Polite was cut? Let me know in the comments, and get at me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more New York Jets content. I'll talk to you guys next time.